A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced his willingness to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Istanbul next week. This decision comes after former U.S. President Donald Trump urged Ukraine to engage in direct negotiations with Russia, emphasizing the need for clarity in the peace process. Zelensky stated he would be waiting for Putin on May 15th, as the Russian leader expressed readiness to resume discussions that were initially held in 2022. In a post on social media platform X, Zelensky reiterated Ukraine's expectation for a full ceasefire to commence on Monday, a demand strongly supported by European leaders to establish a conducive environment for diplomatic talks aimed at ending the war. Trump, while expressing skepticism regarding the likelihood of a successful deal between the two nations, insisted that Ukraine should agree to the proposed direct peace talks without delay. He claimed that Putin is not inclined to pursue a ceasefire, but rather seeks to negotiate a resolution to what he described as a bloodbath. Trump's remarks included a strong call for immediate action from Ukraine, stating, "President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately." Putin's proposal for direct talks follows an ultimatum demanding a temporary ceasefire, asserting that it was Ukraine that halted negotiations in 2022. He stated, "We are proposing that Kyiv resume direct negotiations without any preconditions." Meanwhile, European leaders, including those from Britain, France, Germany, and Poland, have urged Russia to accept a 30-day unconditional ceasefire beginning on Monday, threatening painful sanctions if Russia refuses to comply. Zelensky confirmed that Ukraine's ceasefire proposal remains on the table and that the country is awaiting a response from Russia. He warned that Ukrainian forces are prepared to respond if Russian troops violate the ceasefire. However, Moscow has yet to commit to the proposed ceasefire, raising concerns about the potential for continued hostilities. In a recent address, Trump highlighted the importance of a direct meeting between Kyiv and Moscow, stating that it would clarify whether a peace deal is feasible. He expressed doubt about Ukraine's willingness to negotiate with Putin, who he accused of celebrating Russia's historical military victories while ignoring the current conflict. The backdrop to these diplomatic efforts includes a massive military display in Moscow, marking 80 years since the end of World War II. Putin showcased Russia's military might, which Ukraine condemned as a parade of cynicism. The event was attended by various world leaders, including China's Xi Jinping and Brazil's Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. As tensions continue to escalate, the fundamental differences in objectives between the involved parties remain apparent. Vladimir Putin seeks total conquest and aims to restore Russia's imperial legacy, while Ukraine fights for its survival as an independent nation. European leaders desire a long-lasting peace that restrains Russian aggression, while Trump appears focused on securing a deal that could enhance his political legacy. The proposed peace plan from the U.S., which includes a 7-point framework, has drawn criticism for potentially forcing Ukraine to concede significant territories in exchange for a ceasefire. Putin, in his recent statements, claimed that peace and justice are on our side, despite ongoing attacks on Ukrainian civilians. As the situation unfolds, the international community watches closely, with the potential for more severe sanctions against Russia looming should it refuse to engage in the proposed ceasefire. The outcome of the upcoming talks in Istanbul could significantly impact the trajectory of the conflict and the lives of millions affected by the war. Zelensky's willingness to meet with Putin marks a critical juncture in the peace process, as both leaders navigate the complex landscape of diplomacy amid ongoing hostilities. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.